Tech Talk, Taco Tuesday with your hosts, Jimmy Lewis and Logan Tyler.
Tuesday.
And here we are.
Live from Pahrump. It's a little chilly out here in the desert. This is Tech Talk Taco Tuesday. This is show number 164. And Ricky Brabec is tripping over our studio right now. He's our special guest. But we have a really good question right off the bat. Maybe you know about something like this. Because we don't talk about racing here unless it involves me. So you're off the hook there.
Yes.
Unless somebody asks a really good question, you can put on your headphones.
I can hear you, though.
Everybody.
You're right next to me.
This is Ricky Brabec. So he's live on the Instagrams there. Hey, this show it wouldn't be possible. I tried to get into this, but I've missed it without Yamaha, Taco Moto, Scott Sports, Climb, DDC, Trail Tech, Fasst Company, Seat Concepts, Bulletproof Designs, and Double Take Mirrors. I used almost every single one of those products today without using. I didn't use a Yamaha. I did ride a Yamaha today. I rode my Tenere to check the mail. Everything else I used today, even a double take mirror, believe it or not.
Oh, yeah.
I usually use them to shave. So, as well as on my other bike. So, hey, Ricky, we had a pretty interesting question there. Somebody wanted to know high compression head or low compression head on a Yamaha YZ250 two-stroke for off-road. And I was saying high compression gives you more bark and snap, and then lower compression kind of makes them rev more. Is the thing. I said really depends on what he wants. So what's your take on this? Travis just bit out.
What's my take? Well, I think you asked him the question about asking what he wants.
Yeah. What does he want? That'd probably be a better question.
Well, what does he race? What does he ride?
YZ250.
Well,
Yeah, he said off-road. You know, on the Instagrams you
fast or slow? Like riding.
Yeah, what kind of riding is it? Let us know, and we'll fix that question. So somebody wanted to know. I need to get they make these things for iPhones that you can put them in and you can make the adjustment. You know about those?
Amazon.
Don't you have one You have one in the shop right now.
I don't know where it is. Okay, so
It's on a tripod.
you can also support Dirt Bike Test by clicking through our Amazon links and our Rocky Mountain MC links. You know about that, Ricky?
Yeah, I do. I was checking it out today on Rocky Mountain.
Yeah, so Ricky actually is thinking about buying a couple things for one of his dirt bikes, his vintage bikes, I like to call it, that old vintage Sierra 450X you love so much.
Best bike.
Best bike for you.
Best bike, hard to find. Best bike for anyone.
Yeah, I sold mine. I sold both of mine.
You made a mistake.
No, I didn't. I was happy with.
The incident yesterday wouldn't have happened if you had the vintage X.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
You mean this morning?
No, it was yesterday. Yesterday morning. Yesterday, 11 a.m.
11 a.m. I had a problem. Did I have a problem? I wasn't riding yesterday.
That's a case and point. You weren't riding and you still had the problem.
I can't even remember. It was yesterday.
I sent it to Andrew.
Oh, that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. We're not allowed to post that. Yeah, that would happen.
No, come on.
The whole bike would have burnt to the ground.
No way.
So if you have a Ricky Brabec question, a legit question for Ricky Brabec, you can call us on the Seat Concepts Hot Seat Hotline. That number is 775-318-5515. Ricky has agreed to sign a T-shirt. I have agreed to, as long as we can have your size. We have the whole selection over there. If we have your size, I'll pull one of those T-shirts. I'll ask you. We got to decide who the best caller is. We're just gonna pick it when it happens. That's it. It'll shut
The
down.
audience is going to pick it.
Yeah, and then Ricky will sign it, and I'll send you this Ricky Brabec signed Dakar winner signed T-shirt tonight. So that's where Mark Daniels is having Tech Talk Taco Tuesday and tequila. He puts a fifth T in there, and I wasn't prepared enough to get mine done, and so.
Jason Abbott's here, huh?
Yeah, there's a few people join in every once in a while. They don't have anything better to do.
I mean, I watch the show my girlfriend hates me, but I watch the show. If she's trying to watch TV or whatever, I'm cooking dinner or I'm on the couch watching
My
your
wife,
show over Sarah's show. It's awesome. I like this.
my wife said she almost was thinking about watching tonight
No, she's only watching the first hour.
because you got to leave after that.
Yeah.
So somebody's got work to do. So Ricky, how was today? Trying to keep up with me.
Trying to keep up with you is extremely tough.
I meant that keep up with me and that like I'm not doing it. I know you're trying to keep up on your social media posting, and I was
come on.
holding you back from doing that because I was a little quicker than usual today.
You got to show people. Of course, social media is there for a reason. You have to show everyone what you're doing all the time, right? Or else it didn't happen. Isn't that the same?
Yeah, nothing. That's a good thing about my life. Nothing is happening anymore. And Jason Abbott says I'm on the couch and wife is watching shitty TV.
See, same. Wife's yelling at him, and Heather's also watching. See,
Really? Is that what he's gonna do?
Oh my God, George.
I'll show him what he's.
No.
That's the guy who helped you get your license plate. That guy. He thinks he can call he just calls the direct thing. He doesn't know how to call into the
show.
the hotline, like he's supposed to. Well, that's okay. My battery's probably going to go dead in this thing anyway, so we might have to. Have you ever seen it do that before?
No, I think that's because your battery's dying, dude.
It could be. Instagrams are dying. So anyhow, hey, look at the Ryan Hanna artwork. Some
I know,
dudes
I
on
think
that.
sweet.
Yeah, Ryan actually sent that in, and we put it in the studio. He's been in a couple times in the show, which is pretty cool. So this is bothering me.
He
that
also
thing
did a
flicking.
Better Rider podcast, and that was pretty good.
Oh yeah, that actually was pretty good because he used to coach for us back in the old days.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyways, we have some questions, but not before I tell you about Fasst Company products: the flex handlebars, the spoke torque wrench, impact pegs, brake clevis, brake spring kits, clicker adjusters, and all products are American made. And if I didn't have my Fasst Company bars on my bike today, I would be complaining about how much my wrists hurt, and they don't. Have you ever tried those bars on a mountain bike?
No, I was actually on Rocky Mountain ATV today,
Uh-huh.
and I saw that they have those bars for a mountain bike. But I was thinking
Really,
about
that's the best thing you can do for the show. I'm just going to block him as a human being. You'd think
Probably
you'd
wanna
know
put-
better than that. I'm going to go unplug. Actually, I'm going to during the show, I'm going to take the phone over there and I'm going to unplug his trailer live on the show so it freezes over.
Well, I don't want to interrupt your read, but we do have someone in the call.
Oh, we do. Yeah, no, if straight away calls go first.
All right. So
Who is it?
Don't know. Caller, welcome on the show.
Aren't you supposed to be?
Hey, this is Dave Donnelly from Pahrump, Nevada.
Oh, Dave. How's it going?
Hey, it's going pretty good. Hey, I got a question about this Dakar thing with Ricky,
yeah.
and it's is there voice directions or is it strictly on the GPS on the bike?
That's actually a good question because obviously in the race cars, they have a co-driver telling them where to go. On the bike, it's strictly just us and the paper map. So more or less, we're just talking to ourselves out there. There is no voice command yet. I think with how everything in the world is going right now, it'll eventually be there where, the road books are going to be electronic next year. Maybe we'll have earplugs eventually that, the road book can talk to us. I don't know. But for now, it's just us and the road book and talking to ourselves.
What would you want the road book to say to you?
If you had,
It,
well, the road book is kind of a mix right now. But if you had,
That's super interesting because I mean we back when I was racing and as I was doing a long time ago, we actually had this kind of heads up display thing for the cap, and I explained to you how it worked.
yeah,
And it was basically you would manually set it, and then it would let you know when you would go off cap, kind of visually with lights on your visor. Now,
but imagine riding.
it could tell you the mileage of the next in your ear. You could hear the mileage of your next note.
Yeah, say you're riding. Say you didn't even have to look down, and you were racing cross country, and you just had a little voice saying, "Hey, whatever." It's clicking off kilometers, letting you know, and then it says, "Next note, kilometer 65.4. You're gonna go cap 150," and it warns you. I don't know, maybe
But I
500
mean, you
meters
think
before.
about the complicated notes where it would, where it's a picture. We have to look at the picture and figure out what it is. Like, it'd be really difficult for the words unless you like I know in lead nav a lot of times they program in little audio bits
Yeah,
like before you get but you have to go, but you don't get the road book beforehand, so it'd have to be like a real standardized thing. It would that's a really good question, Dave. Yeah, put him on the top of the list for the shirt. Yeah, well, and so Dave,
Hey,
yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah, thanks. Good
got,
question.
If we mention that you win the shirt, you're going to have to either email Matt at jimmylewisoffroad.com to get a hold of that so we can get that to you. But that is a really
Okay,
good.
thanks a lot, guys.
yeah. Thank you.
All right.
Thanks. Man, that would.
You bet.
It's like. I mean, I was thinking about that because so many
Or if
times.
it was just the dangers.
Yeah, but it just told you the danger, ahead, X amount of meters ahead or something. But even just it calling off next note, and it would tell you the kilometers of the next note. That's one less time you have to look down.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you complete a note and it says, okay, you have 3.7 Ks before the next note, then you're like, okay, well now
Next
I
note,
know I have.
Next note, 100 meters. Next note, 100 meters.
Yeah, then you'd be annoyed, right?
Yeah, next note, 100 meters.
You'd be annoyed.
That'd be kind of cool. Interesting.
So we do have some good questions in the chat.
Okay.
I don't know if we want to get to those questions or if we want to give them a chance to call in.
If you have a Ricky question, we want you to call in. That's the way this is going to work. And
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
Kyle.
Yeah, Kyle.
And Jesse.
Kyle, we rode your road book party. No, we didn't ride his road. He did the one. He did the one too. In the morning, he did the one that went the direction we were going. We never talk about locations here. That he did the one there, and I guess it was pretty bad. But I don't know if it ever got corrected. You know how you do a road book and you have to go back and correct it?
Yeah, always.
I don't know if I ever saw. We were fixing Paul's road book today. Paul did a good job in some stuff.
Well, we fixed it last night, and then we tried writing it today.
Yeah,
Well, we didn't try writing it. We did write it.
It's a process.
Where you at, Paul?
John Jackson, did you see the Suzuki 800 ADV bike introduced at EICMA? Looked like it was the most dirt-worthy Suzuki ADV bike yet. This is true. They went. It's called the V-Strom, and the funny thing about the V-Strom is the reason it's a V-Strom is like their motors used to be a V twin, and now it's the new V-Strom, but it's a parallel twin. They copied the Yamaha. Did we get any Yamaha reads, by the way? We did not.
Utah Desert Rider, I think, is thinking about sponsoring a studio heater.
The studio heater. Well, that's why we have the everybody in here is wearing a jacket.
Yeah.
I'm just too poor to afford to turn the heater on. Actually, the reason I can't afford to turn the heater on is because George's motorhome is on my other property, sucking all the electricity out of the grid. If I turn it on, we wouldn't have any lights here. That's really what's going on. So, our friend Victor says, "Do you trust the electronic road book to hold up in a crash?"
No.
No, nothing holds up in a crash. Paper ones.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I actually think the electric one would. You saw mine go flying down the road today.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, mine held up fine. Mine went flying down. No crash though. Mine went flying
You
down.
want to know why yours held up fine?
Why?
Because it was cheap and
An Apple. It was an Apple iPad.
exactly it was affordable. The new Rally ones are going to be
Really expensive.
really expensive. Probably can't take a hit.
Yeah. The only reason that mine flew off is because I was trying to stay in front of Ricky and I was hauling ass. And see, it happens. You were behind me when that happened.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you wouldn't have known about this, and I would never have even said. I would have told you that happened. But we were riding a road book that I made, and I knew the shortcuts. Right? That's what you always say. So, I don't know if we have any other questions in the thing. Clean Performance says, "What are your thoughts on using a flywheel weight to smooth out power delivery on a 2021 gas 450?" Flywheel weights help. they help and hurt. So they can kind of make the throttle response sluggish, but they also do smooth the power out. The best way to smooth the power out is to restrict the exhaust a little bit. So have a like if you have a big open exhaust with a big open in the end, try making that a little bit smaller. That will smooth out the power, and I think a lot of times it's a little bit easier. And everybody says drink more tequila. No need for a heater. You want hand warmers too. That's Victor.
It's on Instagram.
He's on Instagram. Says John Bailey, Jimmy, you're my dude. Just wing it and everything just works out. Shout out to Ricky. Yeah, shout out to Ricky.
Shout out to winging it.
Yeah.
Shout out to
Sounds like somebody knows our thing. Okay, so we're going to go straight to Roost or Endo. If you have a Ricky Brabec question, you can call us at 775-318-5515. And just because it's 775, and this is, land of Nye County, Nevada here, you don't have to pay extra for that phone call. Just so people know.
We have to pay extra,
We pay extra, but you don't.
but
Okay.
we're willing to do that for you, the
Ricky
listeners.
Brabec, are you ready to do this segment that we like to call Roost or Endo?
That's the only reason why I'm here.
I know. So this is this.
Oh yeah.
I thought we were better in this. So this segment is brought to you by Takamoto. That's takomoto.co. So anything you need for your bike, you can pretty much get it at Takamoto. So the way this works is you send us a picture of your bike, give us the year, make, and model. Hopefully, send us a nice picture, please, and then we'll talk about it in public. And the one that gives us the most joy, or the one that Ricky picks, is the winner of the $100 Takamoto gift certificate. So this is Chad Selassie.
He just submitted this an hour and a half ago.
An hour and a half ago.
Full stunt bike.
2020 KTM 500 EXC-F in Supermoto trim. Way too many mods to list, but Vortex ECU, FMF 4.1, 38-tooth sprocket, custom 12-bar subcage, custom rear handbrake bracket for a, I'm going to say this wrong, but Tokiko caliper. It's oversized caliper connected to a Magura HC1 handbrake, just to name a few, because it's way too many mods to list. Which you know what that comes out to me is like, this guy was lazy. He didn't take our game serious.
No.
If you're on Instagram right now and you can't see the bikes we're talking about, these are up on the video feed. But we are looking at a 2020 KTM 500 EXCF in Supermoto trim. So I like the fall colors, that's for sure. Matches the bike.
It's not a bad photo.
The colors are nice. The photo's nice. I mean,
It's the
But
I'm not
Supermoto
sure about
part.
The
ripping around.
Supermoto part's the one that's bugging you?
Yeah.
I agree, because this is dirt bike test and we do like some knobbies.
The orange brake cable is a bit much too.
that's for the handbrake.
Oh. Is it still orange?
Oh yeah, because he's
That's the handbrake
that's
one.
for the stunting, because he's got he didn't talk about like some of the mods. He's got a cage around the back of it
and pegs.
where he has the pegs where he can stand up in the back, and the little thing where he can hook his foot when he's doing those super styly 360-degree wheelie things.
Wheel stands.
Yeah, wheel stands, and that's the second brake. So when he has the right foot doing all the stunting activities, swinging that thing around and everything, he can use the handbrake. Until I actually see him using that in Fury, I'm gonna have to say Endo.
Yeah, what the heck's going on? I thought people could send in videos.
They can.
They can.
Yeah, 1 minute.
Am I
or
the
less
only
video.
one that sends videos in? Come on, guys.
One of
I
I
think-
think we've gotten 5.
Yeah, but yours was like one of the few that were actually the right amount of time. Some people, they start talking about a video.
But imagine this guy sends a video, opening scene, doing a freaking wheelie, using all of his modifications, and then parking the bike in this in this I don't know
on
driveway
that spot. Yeah, right there.
on this spot, and then explaining the bike all in 30 seconds.
He would come skidding up. He would be doing a wheelie, do a couple spins. He would put the kickstand down before he got off the bike and just park it and just jump off.
Yeah.
I like to do, that's one of my little tricks I like to do. And then he'd say, "Hey, my name's Chad Selassie. I got this sweet 2020 KTM 5." Anyways, Endo.
You get
Okay.
it.
But we just gave him a great video idea.
Oh boy,
We did. So next
Yeah.
week,
Trevor Hunter. You know this cat? Whoops. This is dangerous.
He mentioned a running joke on the show as well.
Trevor did?
Yeah. Remember how we mentioned a lot of the bikes that we get here are probably for sale?
Oh.
Well,
Oh, is this for sale?
this one's for sale.
oh, that's good. Throw a bike up for sale on Tech Talk Taco Tuesday.
You did that already.
Nope, none of mine are for sale.
You sold them already.
I thought,
Your
you s-
XR650.
Yeah, I sold that.
Right.
I thought that one, you submitted that one.
Yeah, I submitted all my bikes, but they're all Hondas, and Jimmy likes not Hondas. So
No, I have no discrepancies. Although I do like Yamaha's Blue Crew.
see,
Yeah, Yamaha. Go to YamahaMotorsports.com to check out the latest, see what's new for 2023. Trevor Hunter has a 2021 YZ250. This will be the two-stroke. It has Enzo suspension, Bill's pipes, ported cylinder head, but it still has the stock pipe. So you know. V-Force reeds and TM Design Works slide and glide head kit. I said head because do you think he has a high compression or low compression head on this? It's for off-road.
I don't know.
I didn't know he had a 21 YZ252 stroke.
Are we sure it's his?
I don't know. He's selling it.
Is that his parents' house?
Yeah, he lives at home. If he does motorcycle racing and dirt bike industry, it's probably living at
Well,
home.
we do have a caller who might be able to.
Oh,
chime
got a
in.
caller. Okay.
Do you want to finish this and bring him on, or just do the caller?
Oh, we're going to interrupt everybody for the callers
All right,
tonight.
we're gonna
Did
bring
you
this caller.
screen? Do you know who it is?
No, we don't have a screener.
Okay.
So this could just be. This could be.
It could be a
anything.
crank call.
Could be
It's
anything.
good. Let's run it.
Call.
All right. Well, caller, welcome on to Tech Talk Taco Tuesday.
Oh, so we have he's
hello?
obviously a Star Wars character that's speaking through a filter coming from outer space.
Yeah.
I guess so. I don't know. There's a two or three on the
Right. This is definitely
Yeah.
definitely.
We're,
So
we're having a hard time hearing you, so I'm gonna hang up on this. one.
yeah, I understand that they're probably calling from outer space.
It sounded like they were calling from a submarine, and it was on speaker, and they're outside the submarine.
Right. That's more accurate. I was going to say, yeah, they were using the voice-o-matron like
Yeah.
I do. So go ahead and give us a call back. This is working out super awesome. Scott Atchison says, "Hey Ricky, could Cameron Steele finish Dakar?"
I mean, I think he could do it. He's going to need a lot of hand sanitizer and
I was going to say based on his riding ability and stuff
for
like that. Yeah,
sure.
for no problem.
yeah, he can do it.
Yeah, and he's not as much of a wimp as I'd like to call him, like live, but I think he's kind of person that could kind of tough it out.
No, most definitely he can tough it out, and he's a good rider.
Yeah.
I know he was wanting to do Sonora Rally a couple years ago, but I think it's like right on top of one of the Desert Assassins
Events.
of trips.
Right.
So I know he really wants to do that event. So maybe sometime he'll make it to there. But no, he can do the Dakar, and I think he would enjoy the experience.
Yeah, because I mean, I was really surprised when he showed up at King of the Motos back in the
Yeah.
day, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" Freestyle. Cameron, to me, I grew up jumping BMX bikes with Cameron at
Yeah.
Sheep Hills, and so I know he has bike skills. And then I'd seen him try to, when the freestyle thing was kind of just getting started, he would try to hit the ramps and everything. But he found he could talk about it better than he could hit the ramps. But then out of nowhere, I knew he rode. You'd see him at the track every once in a while. He'd, show up at Surfer Cross and he could ride. Shows up at King of the Motos. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Because, I mean, that thing kicks, that's an event that'll kick your ass.
Yeah.
And he got his ass kicked, but he kept going.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, I think he has the tenacity and definitely has the skills to do it. So yeah, I know you wanted us to throw him under the bus. I think we'd all like to throw him under the bus, but he has a bigger mouth than both of us.
Oh, yeah, it's so bad.
So, stunt bike that's never been stunted. Okay, then on to the next. Wait, what does Trevor's bike do? Trevor's bike, Roost, actually.
Well, hold on.
What?
Finn just made a point in the chat.
Oh.
I'm trying to enhance because it does look like a valid point.
Hey, Finn, that's a great thing. Is
There-
it me or is the clutch ever missing? Well, that is true, and this is a typical Trevor problem that there's always something missing out of the program. It's hard to see, Ricky.
It is. It's like I can't see.
Yeah, I'm trying to enhance.
Yeah,
it,
so
but
we're hitting here enhancing the thing, and it
I'm
does.
not seeing it.
That's a completely unprepped bike. That thing endos. It just went from, in my world,
A Roost to
Endo.
Endo.
yeah.
He probably has a recluse in there though.
He probably had to take it off to put it on someone else's bike or in one of his other
His
bikes.
brother's bike for the Big Six race this week.
Right. Yeah. Didn't even totally prep it. Yeah, Flynn, thanks for pointing that out. Yeah, Endo.
And,
It
Endo.
went from a Roost to an Endo.
It was so quick because I thought it's a clean bike. That's nice.
Yeah.
It's a good bike. It's probably for sale. Contact Trevor
Now
Hunter.
here's a stunter.
See, that's good. I gotta give you that picture.
This is how you send a picture.
Yeah, Austin Owens has a 23 Gas EC300. He's got a lot of stuff on it. I'm gonna rip through this list the best I can. If you wonder what we were doing on Instagram, by the way, because this Sarah Price MX just joined.
dude, this guy's wearing UGG boots in his photo.
I think he's a trials guy. Moto Mine and Baja Designs XL80 kit, Moto Mine and Bomber bar switch, Astra off-road Andorra handlebar, XC Gear Mako 360, SXS has Burley handguards and skid plate and fork lug guards, BPR radiator guards, TPS sensor, swing arm. And that's Bulletproof Designs. I think he's got all the stuff. Bulletproof Designs, proud sponsor of Tech Talk Taco Tuesday, and the rear swing arm disc guard with caliper guard. Notice he does not have the front disc guard. The whole thing.
Yep.
No, that's a carbon fiber. That's like a different kind of thing. It's a plastic, and it says in big black bold capitalized letters, plastic front disc guard by Polysport, and a little smiley emoji. Dirt Tech sprockets, 1248 gearing, Enduro Engineering clutch and slave cylinder guard, ProTech full wrap fork guards. He's got a lot of guards. TRS unbreakable folding brake pedal, front and rear tugger straps, Seat Concepts Race 2.0 seat, Nitro Moose standard front and plushy rear with 2-in rim locks on the rear, Taco Moto Ultra Slim oil filler cap, and the rider has a straw hat, Climb Dakar gloves, Climb Aggressor cool knee brace socks, and Chacos. Is that the shoes?
That has to be the shoes, dude, because those look like freaking sandals or UGG boots.
It's an action picture, though.
It's
Yeah,
an
it
action
is an
picture.
action photo.
It actually looks like he's wearing like one of those, like not a thing that Devo used to wear in their head, like some sort of a bowl on his head. It doesn't really look like a helmet. It looks like a bowl.
It's a
doesn't
straw
it?
hat, dude.
It's a straw hat. Well, that's what it says right there. I should have been paying attention. I was just doing two things at once. That's
It's all right. At least you didn't spell Tuesday wrong.
So he protects the hell out of his bike and neglects his
Head.
cranium. Yeah, the most important thing. I think.
He's only right here though for the photo for Tech Talk for sure. Look at his foot's on the ground. He's doing a wheel stand. He's doing a pivot
It's a
turn.
pivot turn. That's sweet.
All for you, Jimbo.
That's good though. That is the most action-packed photo that we've had, I think.
At least in a while.
I think it Roos.
I think the most action-packed photo was the
That's
guy.
Paul
who,
Neff in 10 years.
Paul Neff in 10 years. I think Paul Neff does that now. Yeah. So Yeah, not bad. I mean, to do the, in fact, doing the pivot turn to the non-brake side is actually pretty tricky.
It is.
Because if stuff goes wrong, unless you have that goofy brake setup that the dude on the trials bike had,
KTM.
or the supermoto bike had, yeah, that can be a little bit of a problem. I think that Roost. Austin, your photo and your bike, I think it Roost.
You're doing great.
Okay. Next on the list. All right. Gene McIntyre. By the way, I think everybody just gave up on the calling in, except for George is probably still trying to call me on my other lines, I'm sure. If you have a question for Ricky Brabec and you're not calling in from a submarine, from the outside of a submarine or from outer space, feel free to give us a call on the Seat Concepts Hot Seat Hotline, 775-318-5515. Gene McIntyre, you're next up on Roost or Endo. 2018 KTM 450 XCF. And Matt's working on it the best he can. He's got other things going on. He's updating his Tinder account.
Come on, bud.
I had it all ready, except I didn't press the one button about commodity stand to the side.
Got it. So he's flinging dirt, says so right in his graphics, with his Recluse clutch, Radius CX, Mako 360 bar mount. Use the flex bars as well. Not sure which is really better, in my opinion. That's okay. We don't judge Gene. Decal Works graphics, Tusk rear disc guard, tubeless front and rear, Midwest Engineering clutch lever. Trevor could use one of those, I think. Actually, even though it's a KTM, just send Trevor your takeoff lever so he has one for his Yamaha. Right. ECU tuned by Blaze Racing, a fan kit, a Chirby skid plate, solid DeVille seat cover, tire changes all the time depending on what and where I am riding, so no point in mentioning. We're always interested in that. That looks like. Remember where we went rally training the one time out in Utah?
Yeah.
That's there.
Is it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's that area. It looks pretty cool. Resprung and revalved for my weight and riding. Sag properly set. Oh, the forks are updated to the 2021 internals. And it's a XCF. Okay, yeah, I could see that. It's funny because people say that the EXCs have gotten worse. So somebody upgrading their EXC. I think they've gotten better. I don't think the internals. I don't think they've gotten better, but the settings have gotten better. So Carl Flick has a question. We got to talk about Gene's bike though.
Actually, we have
a call.
I think he got back. He got back in the submarine.
Oh, he got back in the submarine. Here we go.
Let's see. All right.
Hey, caller, welcome to Tech Talk Taco Tuesday. You're live. What's your name?
Oh, this is Dave Donnelly again.
Dave. Okay.
Dave.
Oh, was that you that was out? Did you fall off out of the submarine last time?
I did. Well, same number I called.
Okay. It was the same number all three
number.
times? Matt's not sure.
I'm not sure.
Second time, yeah.
Okay, only the second time. So Dave wasn't the guy that fell out of the submarine.
Yeah.
That guy probably drowned.
Yeah.
I would suspect. Okay, Dave, what's your question?
Well, it's kind of technical. It's about the Honda 450. Now,
we have an
my
expert.
Understanding with the dual sport model holds like a quart of oil. Now, does the rally bike hold more oil? I don't see how you can go 300 miles on a quart of oil for engine oil.
So 450X, it actually holds less than a quart of oil inside the motor.
Just a
Really?
little bit less.
Well, there's the new one is probably, I don't know what the new one is. I don't remember from changing it. The old one is 800 cc's, 850 cc's in the motor, in the engine side, and another 750 in the transmission, but they're separate. But what is the rally bike?
I see.
The rally bike is it's a special motor. It's a factory motor, but Do you have any idea what it holds?
No.
Ricky's not allowed to work on his rally bike.
Well, I changed the oil, but we have a measuring glass.
A measuring glass, yeah, a sight glass. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was just curious. I mean, when you're going like 300 miles at full race speed, it seems like you might want to have extra oil.
We run Moto.
Huh?
They were a Motul, so the small amount of oil is just fine.
Quality over quantity.
Yeah,
Not sponsored.
All right. Yeah.
I
Moto's
think
great stuff.
yeah, I think that they do lots of testing on this stuff to really get another call.
He's gonna, if he calls again, he's gonna have to edit the audio.
Right. Yeah, let him. He can't do that.
No.
So, anyways, they do a lot of engineering to make sure that
There's no
the engines
breakdown.
have enough oil, and I mean the amount of durability tests. Do they actually do much oil sampling when they do that?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, they do oil sampling and all that stuff. So it's a thing. Okay. So
All right. Cool. Thank you.
yeah, I wouldn't if you're worried about it, just change it more often. But man, I let him he's calling you.
Yeah.
He's actually that's what a like you'd think he knew how to call the hotline.
Yeah, yeah.
Something like that. We've only said it a few
Well,
times.
Dave's clearly got it down. So
Yeah.
thank you, Dave.
All
Okay.
right.
Okay, so
See ya.
are we we have
We have Gene.
wait, did that Roost or Endo?
You were still talking about Gene's bike, dude.
Yeah.
I don't like the XCs.
Audience has a
XCFs.
question, Jimmy.
Okay. Nader Tater?
The audience?
I try to ignore that most of the time. You're talking about Bob over here?
We do need to get a mic over there at some point.
It's like the shop dog. He's like your shop dog, just kind of like they're around, they're doing things all the time. As long as they're not pooping on the floor, everything's cool. We have to decide whether Gene's bike roosts or endos. I like the photo. I'm pretty sure he's happy with his bike.
Yeah, he sounds pretty pumped with it. It seems
I
like a
it's
good area.
He's got a good picture in a good area. It makes me want to go ride there again. I like that. I'm gonna say Roost. Roost. Yeah, that's definitely a Roost. So I'm trying to post up on my Instagram's thing
Okay.
on the thing, but I don't know how it works. So
All right, are we going to the audience question or?
yeah, let's audience Bob. You mean Bob's question?
Yeah, Bob's question.
Yeah, Bob's raising
And
his
then I'm
hand.
gonna pass you a lot.
It's usually a comment, not a question.
The more oil you have to move, the more power it takes and the more heat it makes. So you have to keep it.
So Bob is saying that the more oil you have to move, the more power it takes. And here's where we're not talking at that point. We're not the oil, if the engine's properly designed, is already out of the way. Okay, the oil should not be in the way of getting in the way of moving things. Correct? You want to agree with me on this?
Gears require power.
Right, but the more oil, if your oil engine's designed properly, it's going to dip them in the oil and it's not going to submerge them and have to move it. It's going to get flung out of the way. The crank, it's definitely not ramming into the crank every time. When you talk about the more oil you have to move, that's the oil pump and the other things that would do it. So a properly designed oil, all the oil is kind of spread out and not interfering with the spinning things. It's just getting in there.
When the gears come together,
Right.
that's what sucks the power out. So 90%.
That has, okay. So when the gears, he's talking about when the gears come together. Remember, everybody can't hear you so much on the audios. So when the gears come together, that doesn't have anything to do with the oil. It has to do with the surface area of the gears.
It's the oil and the gear teeth squeezing the oil.
Correct. But if you have a certain quantity of oil in the motor, let's say you have either 1200 cc's or 1100 cc's. That's having no bearing on the amount of, because that oil should not be, quote, interfering with that. The oil should just be it should be spread out and housed in areas where it's going to be splashed onto the gears.
So I don't disagree with you. I don't know that particular point, but 90% of the power absorbed by a gearbox is used in moving oil.
90% of the power absorbed by a gearbox.
So that if you have 10 horsepower at the crank and you have 9 horsepower at the rear wheel,
Right.
1 whole horsepower is used just move. 90% of it is moving oil.
Oh, hey, Sarah Price has a good question.
I might have a.
Hey, I already freaking told her what bike to buy, but I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Well, if she's interested, there's a
A Husaberg for
there's
sale?
a Husaberg for sale. Speaking of, don't read. I have a different Rooster Endo submission rather than the one that's there on the table.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
you don't want to put up your bike for sale. Hold on a second. We're back to Rooster Endo. Sarah, we're going to get to your question before Ricky has to leave.
Well,
that's
actually,
for
no.
sure.
We're answering her question with this Rooster Endo.
This one?
Yeah.
Oh, that one? No. Okay. So
She definitely don't need this bike.
this
I know
is
that.
this is one Matt Mattoon who if you saw his post
Cut
on
straight lines.
you can't even cut straight lines. Sit on
I don't have your fancy. I don't have
right
the,
over there.
I don't have access to the tools that are 20 feet to my right. Okay, that's
So not only
It's a
can
barrier to
not
entry.
only can he not spell Tuesday.
Nope.
Okay, Matt cannot spell Tuesday. The interesting thing is I have no idea what this motorcycle is because one of the rules for Rooster Endo is you're supposed to put year, make, and model. And I see Matt's name and it goes Hinson clutch. So this is a Hinson clutch basket. And Matt's Hinson clutch basket has a hub, springs, and cover, an FMFQ stealth silencer, Tusk clutch, brake, and shift levers, and anti-gravity battery.
Yep.
That's what it is.
Incredible.
Endo. Endo. You want to know what's even worse about that bike?
Yeah.
That bike came from Bob. That was like a gifted bike, and I'll bet you Bob he's probably selling it for more than you sold it to him for.
nope.
Nope.
Wait, why are you selling it? Thing's actually really clean. Just ride it, dude.
I have a need for camera gear. Well, a want for camera gear.
I don't pay him enough.
Time to ask for a raise.
Yeah, I don't pay him enough. I mean, he gets a portion of the stuff that he brings in, but it ain't much. And
Well, I definitely want my.
Wait, but what year is this thing?
It's a 12.
12.
Yeah.
what is it?
Husaberg TE 300. This is the bike that Graham Jarvis took to victory many times in King of the Motos.
It wasn't the actual. No, that was the Dirt Rider test bike. That was the Dirt Rider magazine test bike, correct? That particular one. You bought it at a dealership?
Yeah, I think I did.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
Long time ago.
But yeah, Bob, if you want a 300, there's one for sale. You're very familiar with it.
I've got one in my back of my car right now.
Hey, we have a question on an Africa Twin that was up there, just
Yeah,
a little
we'll
bit
bring
taller.
that up.
Nader Tater says, "What's your opinion on the Africa Twin? Also, which KTM is its closest competition, and would that KTM be a better choice? Riding 50% trail, 50% pavement." So he's talking about riding an adventure bike the way it was designed to be ridden, the place it was supposed to be ridden. Ricky has a very opinionated opinion on the Africa Twin.
I do.
Yeah. You probably can't say anything but it's the best bike ever.
I mean, I've only really rode him in Iceland, and I was freezing balls so much that I wouldn't.
Oh, more than you were complaining about it today.
Oh yeah, way more cold there, dude.
Didn't it have heated grips?
Yeah, and I had those suckers all the way up,
Yeah.
the whole day.
Yeah. His truck, by the way, has a heated steering wheel, and that's indoors. This is kind of crazy.
Hey, when you're cold, you're cold.
Yeah,
You know, the first thing he says to me when I see him after your guys' ride, he's like, "Dude, it was cold." And I woke up this morning, all I could think was, I'm kind of glad I'm not riding, but I'm also
He
sad that I'm
didn't.
not
He didn't
riding.
tell you how hard I roosted.
No, he didn't tell.
Oh,
He didn't say that part.
He didn't say like Jimmy was ripping.
No.
He said it's cold.
He just said it was cold. That was it. I said, "Hey, how was the ride?" It was cold.
I didn't even tell. I haven't even told anyone yet that I got back to your house and loaded my truck up, took a shower, and got dressed before you arrived.
It was because I was verifying your work.
Oh,
Is that what?
Yeah. I was checking to the radius on the turns. I was seeing where you got on the brakes before the turns and stuff like
Hey,
this.
Jimmy. So this is what I'm gonna start saying when we're in the figure eights and the circle tracks now. We use that excuse.
You're verifying my turns.
Yeah. I was watching your technique to make sure you had enough weight on the outside.
How can you
foot pedal.
watch my technique when I'm behind you because I've lapped you?
Well, because every time you're lapping me, I can watch your technique.
Right.
Judge.
Yeah.
You can judge. Okay, so Sarah Price asks, what bike should I buy next? A KX450F has to go bye-bye. Oh, Sarah, I got this thing where it's called Roost or Endo, and you send in the bike you want to sell to the show, and we list off all of its products. The only thing you don't do is put the price in, and then people will figure it out. And then you can say, as seen on Dirt Bike Tests Tech Talk Taco Tuesday, which makes it probably worth less.
I hear there's a steal on a YZ250 with no clutch lever.
Yeah, that bike stalls a lot, I'm sure. So what should I get next? I would say.
Let's see what George says.
I would say YZ250FX.
We'll see what George says.
Oh, is George finally KTM 500? That's probably what he's selling. Didn't Andrew try to sell me one of those today while I was out
I think
riding?
he tried to sell you a
Yeah, it was a KTM 500. So what he was trying to sell me on the phone today.
A 125.
I had that bike already.
Oh.
I already have a YZ125. I just need a sixth KTM 500. The one I was riding today, I was actually kind of surprised it ran perfect all day. It was all good. Yeah, couple little things are going there. So okay, Dave Donnelly. I have room for one more bike to transport to SoCal for the LA Barstow to Vegas dual sport ride. I'm leaving Wednesday early morning, picking up Javier Gonzalez Tuesday. It's a lot of personal information. Let's see. I have an Airbnb in Pahrump. Call me if you're interested. And what, a date?
I think he's offering a spot if you are looking for a way to get over to LA for the LA to Barstow ride.
No, I'm going to ride my Tenere home tomorrow, hopefully.
Yeah.
I wanted to do it last week, but I had some logistical issues.
Look what George says.
Oh.
Sorry, I've been trying to call you and Ricky. Forgot it was T4 night. Got a paying gig at Prairie City I wanted to discuss.
Hey, I'll take that call.
What, the guy who wants to hang out with you at his house and his Airbnb at Pahrump, or George? I thought this was a motorcycle show.
Oh
No, but it's fun just fucking off like this.
Okay.
yeah. See, Ricky's just kind of perked up a little bit. So
Let's. You think Sarah should get a Honda
Yeah.
CRF 250 RX?
Yeah.
That's what you think
didn't he just advocate that the 450X is like the best bike you can get
for him?
for him?
For almost everybody, but Sarah's really short, doesn't like technical riding. She needs to join Jimmy Lewis off-road school. But sure, her excuse with the 450 is, but if I mess up in a corner, I want to be able to get out of the corner fast.
Dude, she used to race women's pro motocross.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
gnarly. Yeah, she's fast. So, actually,
But we took her to Laughlin on last weekend,
Uh-huh.
Saturday, and I asked, she rode good, but she said her hand gets tired on the clutch.
they make a recluse for that.
Dude, we don't
go to recluse?
we don't run automatic. I'll run a recluse. I just automatic because
I was recluse all day, automatic recluse all day today. That's why those lines were so sweet in those virgin sandwiches.
Troy Hicks is asking if
The Pahrump Grinder meetup, is that Airbnb? I don't know. That's what I'm wondering. I mean, usually they send the information through the app, not live in the chat.
look what Jeremy says.
Yeah, Jeremy says a KDX 200. Dude. Every once in a while I see one of these things pop up and I want to buy one of those. I used to race those things in the district enduros. Like I was a Team Green rider and I had KX 250s like crazy. I used to take Heather's KDX 200 and race that because I could ride it faster, and I'd overall the stinking district enduros on those things.
Perfect. We're gonna find Sarah KDX 200.
That'd be the awesome trail bike. Yeah, 'cause she's kind of green.
See, look at even Jason agrees with me.
Yeah, I think a 250X for sure. And
RX.
Yeah, RX. And 250 RX, 250, any 250. I'd say a YZ 250 FX personally. This show is brought to you by Yamaha. Yamaha is the maker of the blue bikes.
That is probably the best ad read we've ever gotten.
in the thing. Matt's been riding a Yamaha YZ250FX, and
I've been loving it.
even though he can't spell Tuesday and he doesn't know what kind of bike he is trying to sell, he likes the Yamaha YZ250FX.
Fresh has fresh oil and fresh air filter on it too.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go and check the torque on the drain plug and make sure the air filter's aligned correctly because I'm really not too confident in some stuff right now. Are there rim locks on the T7? No, not stock. They're definitely not rim locks. And
Gene Turner has a bike for sale.
has a KDX 200 for sale. Huh.
Ooh.
Yep. Okay. So, what other stuff? You've got 8 more minutes.
I don't even know what the T7 is.
Tenere, Yamaha
Oh.
Tenere 700. It's the one I rode to the mail box when I was all profiling and flexing. Look at me on my rad adventure bike the other day. You didn't notice that? Oh, jeez.
You have too many bikes to
We
don't
do
even
have-
know.
It's the quiet one. It's super quiet. Yeah.
We do have another Rooster Endo entry.
We do?
Yeah. if you wanna
Okay.
Go into that.
We'll pass it over because we're going to decide.
So
Ricky's going to decide.
This is a back-to-back entry. Sorry,
Wait, Sandeep was in our class.
Sandeep, and he submitted a bike last week, but this is a different bike.
It's a different bike. Okay. Sandeep has a 2018 KTM 450 EXC 6 days. He has a Get ECU, an FMF slip-on exhaust, Fastway foot pegs, Moto-minded dash, Squadron headlight, cone valve forks, track shocks, P3 pipe guard. And look at that
I
sunset.
think he's in like, that's water, right? Is that Mexico?
No.
Smog.
Smog. No, it's I think it's just clay. Yeah, it could be Mexico actually. You know what it does? It kind of looks like the coast, like the Pacific
Yeah.
coast. Yeah, actually it does. It looks a lot like that now that we start saying that. But pretty photo. Makes me want to go rip down that road. Spendy on the suspension. Yep. I think that bike Roos. EXC, yeah. So PDS stuff. Good on you. I like it. It gets a Roost.
I think my friends are just in your group chatting. Coyote Cows called it.
Coyote Cows.
Look at, well, no, he just
Oh,
said.
where it's at. You know where I was going to say that was. It looks like to me down going into Punta Caneo.
Oh no, Sandeep. That is Sandeep who just said it's on the way to Coyote Cows.
Oh,
Yeah.
he did. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it looked to me like farther down south, but same thing. Jeremy wants to know, does old Jimmy got any Rooster Endos maybe over there? Maybe some KTM 200s for Sarah? Dave would probably sell my KTM 200 back. I sold it to him not too long ago. It's up at the A-frame right now, but it's like a 2014 KTM 200. They have electric start, super lightweight 2-stroke, super awesome.
No, Sarah needs brand new everything.
Brand new everything.
Yeah,
This
so-
thing looks like it's been drugged through rock. Maybe like it's set up a King of the Motos course or two.
It has
'Cause
brand new scratches. I'm
Because it
sure.
has brand new scratches. Yeah. You don't feel bad. It's not like your truck. It's like my truck. You don't feel bad when it's already been kind of disrespected.
Exactly.
Yeah, then you
Once
can
it's already been disrespected.
yeah, you just take it and it then you're treating it nice and it likes you better.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way it's like a neglected cat. You have a neglected cat and you're nice to it, it likes you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, big fan of Ricky, long-time caller, first-time listener, says Jeremy Dorkson. Didn't he submit a bike to Rooster
Yeah,
Endo?
he submitted his little tiny 50, and he has a bike in his garage that he could definitely submit a video of, but Gerbil's scared to do a video again.
So,
I think that one might have roosted more than the factory rally bike.
The little
the
bike,
50?
Yeah, I think it might have.
I don't even know what it was. Yellow.
I'm trying to look at the
I don't know
old
if it was
board.
a
okay,
Suzuki.
Ricky, you have to pick your winner here out of all these.
I like this guy's style.
I do too.
So
We're going with
I think his name was Austin.
Austin.
Whoever needs the clutch lever.
Austin Owens. You agree, Matt? Not
Oh.
that you can outvote us right now.
It wasn't even close.
Yeah. No, Austin, good job. Put your helmet on because that's what my friends always tell me when I do stupid shit.
A few Coors Lights deep.
Yeah,
There for sure.
I like how much it's a brand new bike, and I like the whole list. 23 gas. It's every single thing on there. By the way, thanks for using our sponsors like Bulletproof Designs and Seat Concepts. Everything is protection, and he's wearing his flip flops and fucking straw hat, short sleeves, bro. Use the $100 at Takamoto to buy something else protective wise. I don't know.
He's in the chat too.
yeah.
Oh, and it's his profile picture in the chat.
Yeah, he's a new fan.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. He's ready to go. Ricky, I've seen Ricky pull this kind of style before. I've seen you get crazy before. So, all good time. Tries to be all professional most of the time, but sometimes it loosens up around here. So, Sarah Price, she's replying. Sarah Price. Let's see. Here we go.
She's replying to herself.
Is that the Excusatron?
Yeah, I think.
He's winding up the Excusatron? My wife does this every once in a while, too. So I'm not going to comment anymore. So I still have a wife when I end up at the end of this show. So Austin is cracking beers live on Tech Talk. Yeah, good job, Austin. Let's see. That's my problem. I don't warm up. I have to try or stay up with Ricky, or I get left. Let's see. He doesn't let the Moto chick. I have to learn this off-road two-wheel thing in her vet life. Oh, you're not like breaking her in easy on the off-road and just full Ricky hardcore trail rides.
Yeah.
Bring her out here. It'll be all good. Heather says
Heather's
go ahead.
looking for it.
No, we get along fine. It's actually, we have a Better Rider podcast where Heather and I did. It's like episode 2, I think.
Episode 1.
Episode 1 of the Better Rider podcast, where we talk about how Heather and I used to teach each other. Well, I was trying to teach her how to ride, and she was trying to teach me how to be a better human. And it evidently worked out because I might actually be a better human right now. I think. So let's see. Troy Hicks has a question. Is Sarah Price the only woman to ever watch this show, Heather excluded, because she has to deal with it? Heather is the reason she watches this show is because Ricky is on it tonight. She even told me that. She says, I don't have to watch that stupid show, do I? And then she watches it to find out what I said about her so she can just give me a hard time later. So that's the way it works, Troy. And then George says the 300 is a cheater. Which 300? Is George just in outer space tonight?
I think maybe George was the one who called with this phone on speaker in the sub.
In the submarine. Yeah, George would be the guy in the submarine, I suspect.
He's trying to put a George sticker on it.
Let's see. Jeremy says, since Brabec is in the house, it's all about e-bikes.
Oh, get Sarah Stark.
Yeah, Stark.
Hey, apparently Ken Roxon is loving it.
Oh, he's talking to Stark?
No, they're just videos of him riding one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. Let's see.
Jimmy has been better on taking me on Heather rides.
Yeah. You don't. So we have now what we call, like, there's Jimmy rides. And today wasn't one of them. Today was just like training. But so when people say they want to go riding with me, they say, Jimmy, I really want to go ride with you. And I'm just honest. I go, no, you don't. And I'm just answering their question for them. And they're like, no, yeah, I really do. And I'm like, no, you really don't want to go riding with me. When I go, I have like 3 people I ride with, maybe 4. And Andrew's trying to get in the club. You know what I mean? He's not sure yet. But like, you don't really want to go on those kind of rides because they're not. So we have Heather rides, and if Heather goes, I'm not going to kill my wife, so it's going to be a good fun ride. Because I don't just like, I'm selective about when I ride. Like, just conditions are good, I go. Conditions are shitty. What is it like when it's 120 out here? You see me riding?
No,
not much. Yeah, I ride at night. So.
So your Tech Talk Taco Tuesday chat room is just our friends talking to each other back and forth.
Yeah, a little bit.
That's kind of how chats tend to work when
Yeah.
they get to a certain size.
Well, when the show is this boring, Ricky, then people do their own. It's like when your wife's watching something bad on TV and you're watching this show on the phone because it's more entertaining than having to watch that horrible TV show, the chick flick or whatever they're doing. So, and Bob is about ready to break his arm off over there, waving his hand.
So, if Heather's going on a trail ride,
If Heather's going on a trail ride,
you'll have a great time. If
You'll have a
she's
great
not
time.
Going, don't bother.
yeah, don't bother. Huh?
I've learned that personally.
Oh, I learned it when I was 14.
Ooh.
Yeah, yeah. I like a little challenging. Remember, this is an audio podcast. Now Matt's going to have to edit that sound out.
Oh no, Ricky's editing
Rick-
that part out.
No, Ricky's ready to roll. He's got
Ricky's
going home. He's got an early call time tomorrow. It's a perfect time for us
Yeah.
to take a little bit of a break. But
Yep.
Ricky, thanks a lot for showing up.
Yeah.
I know you didn't want to talk much, and you didn't. You kept it kind of quiet. Well, no, you're busy. We're not after Dakar when you come back a winner for the second time.
We're going to go on a mini bike ride.
We'll go. Good, yeah, for sure. Yeah, we'll go on a mini bike ride.
At the A-frame in snow.
Yeah. Well, we'll let the snow melt because it was perfect this weekend. But so, anyways, thanks for joining in and have a successful boot camp for Dakar. And we'll see you. We'll all be following. I'll give updates on the show, even though we don't talk about racing.
Perfect.
And so, thanks for coming on the show, and thanks for. I'm sure Austin, you got one new fan at least. I'm sure I lost 20 fans, but that's okay.
They all
So,
went to OnlyFans.
hey, with that, Matt, we're going to go ahead and take a break right now and shut down the call-in line, and I'm going to make sure I get that shirt out to. Actually, we'll get that shirt over here. We're going to sign it for
Dave,
Dave.
Donnelly, I believe.
Dave Donnelly, and we'll go from there. So, thanks, everybody. We'll see you on the backside of this messages.
Living in the back room, sneaking through the back door. Never gonna get me, never gonna get me. Living in the back room, sneaking through the back door. Never gonna get me, get me, get me.
What's up, Moto Buddies? Mike here from Taco Moto Co. What is the Taco Touch? It's the best service in the industry. Virtually 24/7 tech support via email or text, and it's like having a dirt bike doctor on call every day of the year, helping you fix your bike or recommend parts or setups for you. If you've ever received an order from us, you know that the Taco Touch extends to our fulfillment and our orders come with the coolest stickers that you've ever had, buying parts from anybody before, and a handful of root beer barrel candies. All of our Taco Moto Co. branded components come with a no questions asked lifetime warranty, and we'll even extend out the warranty of other manufacturers, OEM, and aftermarket parts where we can, sometimes for life. We test and tune endlessly and exhaustively and obsessively. We're trying to destroy everything that we can before you get your hands on it to look for weaknesses and to improve it, or to make recommendations to the manufacturer. And if it's something that doesn't meet grade, then we don't offer it on the store. Everything that we carry is something that we have personally used, tested, and ridden, and raced, and knows meets the high Taco Touch demanding standard. Go out and get some adventure.
Since 2009, Seat Concepts has been dedicated to making the best aftermarket seats. More comfort, more grip, more riding. For 10 years, we've continued to raise the bar. Innovation and American craftsmanship make Seat Concepts the world-leading manufacturer of power sports seats.
All right, and we're back. Ricky has left the building.
Yeah,
Literally just left.
literally just left. So, hey, everybody. This is Tech Talk Taco Tuesday. This is episode number 164. This is the show where we answer your motorcycle and motorcycle-related questions, product-related questions. The show would not be possible with the help of Yamaha, Taco Moto, Scott Sports, Double Take Mirrors, Bulletproof Design, Seat Concepts, Fasst Company, Trail Tech, and DDC. I was very comfortable today while Ricky was complaining about being cold because I was wearing a lot of climb gear. I was using the layer system, and they have inversion layers that they have different thicknesses, 1, 2, and 3. 3 is a little excessive because they make snow stuff.
Yeah.
2 is when it's really cold, and 1 is perfect for moto if you're using it as a layering system. And that way, and even when you're wearing it as a layering system, if you use the vented pants, the zipping on the pants or vented jackets, you can, even if you get a little hot, you can cool right back down. And that's some of the advantage that Climb Gear has.
And is that straight from their snowmobile gear?
It's the inversion stuff is cross-platform, but I think that's just, you know, when you're talking about to ski people and snow sports people and, you know, they understand the layering quite a bit, where a lot of the motorcycle companies probably, not a primary concern. So if you want to stay nice in the winter, like I do, climb.com. Okay, we have some questions that have popped up in the chat.
Yeah. So Caitlin Fury, hey guys, missed last week's show as I was picking up a 95 KTM 300. Got it home and had no spark. Tore into the stator and found it had a HPI stator that was not producing spark.
HPI.
HPI.
Okay. Don't know what that is.
I
But
had a parts bike 98, I believe a 360, so I stole the stator. Got spark, but only with a strong kickover. Still won't start. I'm getting fuel on the spark plug. What's wrong with it? Why won't it start? Wrong stator. How much does that matter?
well, he said he had a strong kick to get it, and on HPI. I don't know if that sounds like an aftermarket or does he mean CDI, HPI? I'm kind of curious. I don't know what those letters exactly mean, but the 300 and the 360, the stators should be pretty much the same. On something that's that old, I could see that I'm wondering if, you know, if you kind of suspected the one off the 360 was good or whatnot, that if it isn't something else like the grounding of the coil, might be a little bit of a better solution to look at. You know, make sure that it isn't corroded, because sometimes if the coil isn't grounded really good to the frame, that could cause some issues. And I've seen where where the spark plug wire threads onto the coil. In other words, usually it looks like a wood screw inside there and the wire screws onto it. I've seen bad connections or just corrosion inside of there on older bikes. But I would try that. What's wrong with it? Why won't it start? I don't, yeah. If everything's, in net, if everything's good, it should spark, and it doesn't really take a strong kick. If it just spins over once or twice, it's usually enough to generate enough to give you a pretty good spark. So, yeah, hopefully that helps out. That's all I'm thinking. Well, but we're just talking about the spark here. He's got a wet spark plug.
Yeah, he's got no compression or no spark.
Right, but let's see. It's getting fuel in the spark plug, so it doesn't have anything to do with compression at this point. It's not sparking. Even if it's super low compression and it's a wet spark plug, it's probably not sparking. I'm thinking. So give that a shot and see how that works out. Should we go to the questions on the?
Yeah, because one of those questions was sent in right before the show.
Okay.
So I think I put it first, so I can ask it. Mike Warren, hi guys. I know you've already answered this multiple times in the past, so I tried searching for it on dirtbiketest.com, but I have a 94 YZ250 with T2 in it and ready to store it for the winter. The T2 can says drain the carburetor after each use. So should I drain it and be done, or add stabilizer and keep the system full? I think I've heard you talk about it, but can't remember if an empty carb leaves room for moisture. Why T2? Well, my kid spends too much money on dirt bikes, and it was there, so I used it.
Get that out of the bike if you're going to store it. It's not what it does. It's what it does to the O-rings inside the carburetor. It'll do it to the O-ring that's between your petcock and your gas tank. You should not store. I have no idea what it does to the plastic. I've seen like people had the clear plastic gas tanks. It just get really brown when they've been running. And I don't know if it's T2. I don't know exactly which ones are which, but a lot of the race gases. So I personally leave pump gas, ethanol laced pump gas, unfortunately, because I don't have any other better option here in my bikes when I store them, but they usually get stored in the summer, which is probably, we're dry. So it's, the ethanol attracts water. So there's that kind of stuff. I would get that out. Just put normal gas back in there. I don't like leaving them dry because they dry out. Don't know the advantage of going completely dry, because it seems like once you've soaked something in gas, it tends to dry out more after it dries out. So why not just keep it soaked in gas and call it good? I think a fuller tank is better than an empty tank because it might evaporate. And when I see all these people that they store their bike for the winter, why can't you just take it out once a month and start it? And that is probably the best solution to the problem. Just take it out, start it, let it idle for a few minutes, and that little bit of running will kind of get the gas that might be in the carburetor that has a little more interaction with oxygen, and put some newer gas or better gas in there. So, yeah.
So I know it depends on the carburetor, but about how long as a general rule, about how long would you say the bike would need to idle before it gets all the gas that was in the carb cycled out and fresh gas in there?
If it's idling, probably about 4 or 5 minutes. I'm just guessing based on, and that has something to do with the length of the hose from where the petcock shuts off, or how, because it drains out. But I mean, by starting, I mean, can you start it up and riding down the street? That would make it a little better. Can you, like you see us do all the time, a lot of times we'll lay the bike over and let the gas kind of pour out. Of course, we make sure we lay it over on ground that's been properly protected, and then we make sure that the spilt gas is properly recycled, of course. But if you can, there's also a drain screw on the bottom of the float bowl. You can open that sucker up and let it let it drain out a little bit, shut it off, and then that way. But I would always start it just to run something through the jets, just to get everything to cycle a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best thing. So if you're gonna purely store it and not use it for a while, they have I don't know. I know there's additives. There's special gas additives that they're meant to store bikes. I had really good luck with this Chevron product that was a power sports, like a Techron power sports stuff that I put in some bikes, and it seemed like it did pretty good. It wasn't the fuel system cleaner; it was power sports fuel system preservative. But some of the other stuff I've put in there seems like it's actually made it worse. So I think your results may vary based on where you live, the kind of gas you have, the amount of humidity in the air, the temperatures that it's going to be stored at. So I think it's a little bit of an experimentation, and I don't have a one size fits all answer. So if there was, I'm sure everybody would be using it, and I haven't found it yet. So
Right. So Caitlin popped back in the chat as a
Yes.
follow-up. Seems like when checking for the spark, I need to push the Kickstarter harder to see the spark, as if I was doing the full swing of the Kickstarter. But when I do a soft push and feel the piston cycling, no spark.
Bob has raised his hand over in the corner, and he's saying
Like you said earlier, corrosion in the spark plug.
corrosion.
In the fitting of the spark plug.
Yeah, I could be a little bit of that. I mean, I think corrosion could be part of it. I would check corrosion around the coil, corrosion on the spark plug cap line, anywhere. I missed the part what you said. The kids got loud. Well, it's good because this is recorded and put up on both YouTube and Facebook, where you can watch it again. You just scroll back to, I was going to say minute 8. Let's see, about an hour and 2 minutes in, and then we got right into your question. So you can go back and check that out. I think even HPI seems to be an aftermarket stator that comes with a CDI box and coil. I don't remember those. That was a little bit before I was racing KTMs, because I know there was High Point, HPI, High Point. Oh, there we go. Yeah, High Point used to make High Point. They were but I thought those were SEMs. I thought they were importing SEM ignitions.
Right. Swedish electrical magic.
Yeah. So yeah, maybe it's a High Point ignition, which I think would have been an SEM. I don't. My brain is a little bit fried right now. I rode map books for 278 kilometers or something today. So running on borrowed time, 2 brain cells. Yep, that's it. We got that, huh? It's amazing that I can't remember something until it just comes out of nowhere. So next question, Matt. I'm going to have a shot of tequila to help my brain.
All right, so
The same horrible tequila, and then she can find something better. Give me that bottle over there.
which bottle? This one?
Yeah, that one sounds good.
There you go.
Perfect. See, the first good thing that Matt's done on the show tonight that didn't get misspelled. Good job.
Thank you. All right, so KTM 390 long-term video. This is a comment from Leon Phelps. Bottom line, it was designed, engineered, manufactured, and marketed as a third world toy, all capitalized. No matter how much money you throw it at to make it off-road worthy, it will easily hit the 10K, including original out-the-door cost. Throw in a Recluse and aftermarket wheels, you'll hit 15K, and you're still left with a toy. Only a fool would spend that type of money when there are so many adult options available. And the build quality is horrible. KTM should be ashamed. Save your money and buy a T7 as a starting point. Came in hot.
I tend to disagree with you, but the show is brought to you by Yamaha. Yamaha is the maker of the Yamaha T7. That's a Tenere 700. Quite possibly the single best adventure bike ever conceived and created. But back to the KTM 390 thing. So I totally get where you're coming from, Leon, and I disagree with you 100% because if you go on any of the forums for like the CRF 250 or 230, some of the Yamaha WR 250 some of these smaller bikes,
Yeah, like KLX.
KLXs, even KLRs, people just get attached to these bikes and they spend a ton of money on them, and because it fit them or it appealed to them. And I know you think it's only a toy, a third world toy. It's a little rough, but yeah, it can hit 10 grand. So, but you can also go buy a Ducati and start at 21 grand and spend easily that kind of money to try to make it the right thing. So there's different ways to spend your money, and that's the good thing is it does fit a certain type of thing, and especially if you're smaller in stature, or maybe you've realized you don't need the kind of power that most of these other adventure bikes put out. You want something that's a little more comfortable, lower, less weight, lower to the ground. Yeah, I agree with you.
All right.
Not. So next question.
So from your Tenere vlog, Stepan Bergov. Is there any reason for installing a rear tire opposite direction rotation from recommended?
And the front tire as well. Yes. I was testing something. I was trying something. And I'm curious because you've seen what's been happening when I'm doing my braking drills in that Tenere, right?
Yeah.
You've been firsthand witness to this.
Watching it. Yeah.
So we do when we do our school, we do some braking demonstrations, and it has to do with kind of assessing your own braking distance and stuff. And this is uncoached, Matt. What did I do every time I did my braking drill demonstration on my Tenere?
You were on the brake. You got on the brakes much better than you thought you were going to. Like you would stop a good 15 feet at times, well before you meant to.
Yeah, it was the braking performance was much better than I expected. Right, and we didn't have that with the stock. I don't think I ever did it with the stock tires in front of the class. No. No, I didn't.
I don't think
no,
you did.
It was always with the regular ones. No, so this was something that I wanted to try, and so I did it, and I thought I was going to do it and take them and switch them right back, but that was the result, and so now I'm curious. So now I'm going to flip them back around, but I want to do it before I get too used to the bike. So yeah, I had front and rear, and I installed them in the opposite direction because of there's a little on the Kenda big blocks, is which the tires that we run in the school on the adventure bikes. There's a slight shape to the knob pattern. It's not perfectly square like a Continental TK C80, and I've ridden some other tires lately that had a shape to them and they had a certain feel, and it was something I'm going, I wonder what this feels like. So I did it with something that I was familiar with to kind of give me a little bit more background. So just part of testing things properly. You don't just guess, you put things on. So yeah, that's why I did. I literally thought I was going to put them on and try it and take them off or switch them back. And I didn't, because I want to go to the 140 on that thing. And so I didn't think it was going to be on there for that long. And I thought the back one was the one that was going to cause the issues. Mm-hmm. It didn't. So yeah, there was a reason for that. So next question.
All right. This is
Hey, Dave Donnelly managed to lose your email already.
Yeah, I don't think I ever texted it or put it in the chat.
I thought you told him on the phone.
I told him on the phone, but
and he lost it?
I don't know if I gave him enough time to write it down.
Oh, okay. Talking fast again?
I'd never do that.
Okay, good. Next
I don't know
question.
What you're talking about. All right, so from the KLX 230 RS first impression video, Ajo Joseph, is it less powerful than the regular 230R? Apart from the suspension travel, is there any mechanical changes with the engine?
Matt, I cannot answer this question.
That's why I'm here. No, I don't think there's any.
I think, yeah, they're essentially the same except for the suspension changes.
Suspension, and there's a little bit of tweaking with the rake, which I think just comes from the dropping the triple clamps on the forks.
JB Black would like to point out that you misspelled Tuesday.
Yes, okay. So I use a template. I use a Photoshop template with those posts that I make, and
Does it automatically spell Tuesday wrong?
so here's what my theory on what happened, because I use a template, so I don't have to worry about things like this. So I didn't even really think to check it. What probably happened very badly, I know. So what probably happened was I moved some stuff around, and I think I accidentally clicked something, and it just messed it all up. Like if I
You know when I make road books and we're training with some of the world's best rally racers,
Yeah.
some guy named Ricky,
Yeah.
and I completely screw up the road book,
Uh-huh.
I always say something that sounds really similar.
Yeah. So
Just
this is what happened. But I'm glad the caring people, our caring audience, have pointed this mistake out to me. So I'll make sure it will never happen again.
there's a big difference between our generations, Matt. I think like I learned and I became better because I got
I'm sorry, JD Blacks.
I got beat down. Yeah, we're not going to repeat what JB just said.
That's a good one, though. I can laugh at myself. That's a good one.
That has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
No, I think he's telling me I should probably not pass down my.
But you probably have some good qualities, someplace, right?
It sure as hell ain't with a wrench.
No, that's for sure.
What I've learned yesterday taught me my instincts. So what my instincts are when it comes to any mechanical work.
Right.
If my head says it should probably work like this, I should do completely the opposite, and I think that's how I'm going to go moving forward.
Right.
Just like my instincts there are so bad.
Well, see the way in everything that somebody told, most things that, and I don't want to give this away because like Heather she's probably not listening anymore because Ricky's not on.
Right.
If you tell me I can't do something, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to figure out how to do it, and I'm going to do it. And then if I do it wrong and you make fun of me or you pick on me about it, that motivates me even more to do it right or to prove you wrong for whatever.
Right.
That and so you got to take my constant jabbing as affection.
Oh no, I understand your jabbing. I do.
Now JB Black talking about what you should be doing in the bedroom. It's attention to detail. Hey, we all make mistakes, and there's certain things that I'm not good at all, and I have no desire to be better at those things, like this podcast or show or whatever it is.
Right.
And it's like you can't taunt me into being better at it because I don't care. Does that make sense?
Right. But I thought you said you started this because someone said you couldn't.
Right, but they didn't say I had to be any good. They just said I couldn't do it.
Okay.
So that's why we answer your motorcycle and motorcycle product related questions. Go back in the old episodes when the show was probably a little bit better. No, hey, you can make this show even better by participating. Give us a call on the hotline when we start spouting out the number. Send in submissions for the Taco Moto Roost or Endo, which we did in the first hour of the segment because we don't really have a format on this show yet, other than we go about 2 hours. That's about the only format we have.
Hard 2 hours, yeah.
A hard 2 hours, yeah. And we're trying not to get in trouble with the YouTubes or the other things by playing horrible music that they want money for.
Yep.
We'll figure it out. Okay, next question.
All right, so this was from one of the rider opinions on the 250 XC shootout. Dane Henrich. Interesting that he puts the gas first, even though he had complaints about it, but the Yamaha second with hardly any issue raised.
So was Marshall Stewart, who was one of our test riders in that comparison, he races a gas.
Mm-hmm.
Do we know whether he gets us any support from them or any help or...
I don't know if he actually gets support directly from them.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's funny because this is stuff when I was in charge of comparisons and shootouts, I was using riders that I knew were sponsored riders by a certain company to ride all of the bikes because they gave me good opinions.
Mm-hmm.
And so everybody's opinion is unique, and they as long as they can explain why, or a little bit, kind of give you a little bit why and background, then it tends to be a valid opinion. So and how they rank things, and this is why I always had problems with like doing quote shootouts and picking winners. And a lot of times we just had, we were literally forced. We had to pick a winner. It was just the way the shootout worked.
Mm-hmm.
So we'd pick a winner and then just, okay, here, go ahead. This bike won, and it was somehow collectively we decided that it would win. And then there was the rest of them. Because the last place bike could be the best bike for you if you would actually take the time to read through the editorialized descriptions of the bikes and read the opinions of the test riders. And so maybe Marshall says something that speaks to you. Maybe, and I don't specifically remember him, but maybe he's a larger rider, and that just made the suspension work better, and or he liked a certain kind of power characteristic that the gas had and the Yamaha didn't. And that's why we bother to put up opinions, is to show that there's some different opinions. And just because he says it's first and second, I don't think and it didn't make the gas win by him saying it was first. I know that because the Yamaha was the one that won.
Right.
Yamaha sports this show a little bit.
Just a wee bit.
Yeah, but
And
that is, and I don't think anybody would even disagree with us that as far as 250Fs go, that Yamaha has a big advantage.
Yeah.
Just in the engine department, and I'm not kidding anybody when I say that. So, okay, so yeah, that's I knew my test riders, and I know Trevor does as well, and I think Trevor trusts the guys that he's using, and they're giving him good feedback, or maybe they're just meat sickles that want to come ride free dirt bikes, and hopefully Trevor gives them a power bar at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how it works.
I didn't get a power bar.
You didn't get a power bar? I'll beat on Trevor for that. He's just trying to sell Trevor has a really sweet Yamaha YZ250, a 2021 for sale. If you're interested, email Trevor at dirtbiketest.com, and he may even throw in a clutch lever on that rig.
Hey, my Husaberg for sale has a clutch lever.
Oh, yeah. Both of the guys that work for me, here's how it works around here. They're getting paid so much they have to sell their motorcycles so they can afford doing whatever they're doing. So, okay, next question.
All right, so this was from your video on Instagram that's stating when you should change your oil. So the user's name is Honda 450 RL.
Okay.
People are way too stressed about this. Let me pass on my grandfather's teachings and no more stress. When checking your oil from your dipstick to your finger, follow this always. If the oil is clear with no grit, you're good. If grit, change your oil. If the oil is black, you truly don't deserve to own a motorcycle nor a car.
That's sage advice. That all makes pretty good sense. Grit. Yeah, if no grit, you're good. If there's grit, don't just change your oil. If there's grit, it's deeper. It's farther down there, and that's what I kind of wanted to show, that this was a drain plug that I pulled out of KTM, magnetic drain plug. Pull it out. Had the metal filings on the magnet. You could see them, and if you ever take those and wipe them, and they're wafer thin. They're usually gear facings. They're like little slivers from either the gear teeth or maybe the gear dogs, and they occur for the life of the motorcycle. The only bikes I've ever seen stop doing this, because I run magnetic drain plugs in most of my bikes, are Honda XR models with way too many hours on them. They just stop doing it because they're generally built pretty bulletproof. But like my KTMs are going on, I've ones that are going on thousands of hours. Some of those RFS 4-strokes, you're getting familiar with those because we're doing carbs now.
Yeah.
And those will still have those little slivers on there. Sometimes on the screen, and someone also pointed out in that same video, they said, hey, it looked like there was little tiny flakes on the screen. And it was like, yes, there were little tiny flakes on the screen like they always are. And those are generally aluminum pieces. And those tend to come, those little tiny flakes tend to come from clutch material and stuff. And especially when you have like a Recluse that has the Recluse clutch tends to shed just a tiny, tiny bit of aluminum. And I don't know where else the aluminum might come from, other things. But, sometimes you'll see gasket material or silicone that might even have been there for a long time and it might have finally just fatigued and broke off. And yeah, so I sprayed, I didn't show you what I did with that thing. I basically wipe off the magnet, done, and take contact cleaner and spray it on the filter screen, back it out. And if I would have taken the oil filter element, which is the replaceable oil filter, and cut it and waffled out. And I know someplace on our social, someplace there's a picture of me doing this, where I cut the oil filter and pull it out. When you look down deep in those V's of an oil filter, you will see a lot more of those little flakes and those little pieces, because this stuff travels around. And it was just to give you an idea. Hey, look, this is normal. Change your oil on what you call a regular basis, and you should be good. And Victor, always sage advice. He's off the Instagrams.
Mm-hmm. He's back
on Facebook. He says, when you get grit, then sell it. If grit is making training noise, push some sawdust in there.
And then sell it. So he actually had some other advice earlier regarding the starting thing, but this actually seemed like real advice. I let my bike stored for 11 months, but I cleaned my gas, turned this bike on, shut the gas off, let it run until it dies. I spray a lot of WD-40 through the fuel hose, and that is it. When I go back, I turn the fuel on, drain some gas out of the carb, and it starts right away.
So, here's the funny thing. Is Victor is 100% Mexican. This guy is a super solid Mexican guy, and if you've ever seen what the Mexicans can get running and keep running and have run for a long time, you got to give them a lot of respect.
I've heard a lot of legends of the Cuban mechanics as well.
Yeah. The Mexi guys the African guys were on a kind of a different level, a whole different level when I was down in especially kind of like West Africa. It was crazy. But their stuff was just complete. It was a matter of survival, where the Mexican mechanics seem to, I want to say they still have a certain amount of performance in their tune.
Yeah.
I mean, there's got to be something said for the culture that decided to drive with the headlights off because it saved power or gave them better gas mileage, right? Bob, remember this? Yeah, Bob was asleep, but it's okay. Mexicans driving with their headlights off. Yeah. When it's dark. Yeah. Is that to save power or more energy?
Oh, I think they're insane.
Oh, they were just insane. Oh, I was just giving them compliments, and now you just said they're insane. But anyways, so there's got to be some merit to squirting some WD-40. I'm thinking about it, although WD-40, how does it do on rubber? It doesn't. I don't know. I mean, it definitely doesn't corrode. Like, if you put it on stuff, it tends not to corrode. And it displaces. WD stands for water displacing. I heard it was water displacing, and it was their 40th formula. That's what I heard, and maybe it's rumor mill. But so that would keep the moisture out of it. The stuff doesn't. If it does dry out, it tends to not corrode too much.
Well,
So
it leaves a film,
it leaves. Yeah, it definitely would leave a film.
but you don't want to depend on it.
Yeah, I just wonder what it does to rubber.
Don't know either.
So I have to try it. So
Well, it's more of a lubricant than...
Victor says he has proof, and I'm not doubting him. Because he has a group of, he has some bikes down in Mexico, and he runs them once a year, and I see photos. He's always right. What do you got down there? WD-40 doesn't harm rubber, says Mark Daniels. So Chris Reel would let us know for sure.
Yeah,
if he was here.
What just pops into my head is it's more of a lubricant than a cleaner, right? So it wouldn't be so corrosive on the rubber.
No, it's a water displacement.
It's a water
displacement.
displacing stuff.
That's what we were. Yeah.
So I think when we talk, so I was trying to remember what I used to put grips. For a while, I was putting grips on with something that was slippery. No, it was something like WD, but it wasn't WD. What the heck? Because it would vulcanize the grip to the. It was slippery, but if you put it on and left it there, it would literally weld itself there. And I don't think it was WD-40, but it was really counterintuitive.
Doesn't
and
hairspray do that?
Yeah, hairspray can do that a little bit too. But it was something that you wouldn't think, and it's almost something like WD-40, but it wasn't WD-40. I don't know. I have to. It'll come to me just like the HPI ignition. So XR600, CR250, and a Harley Sportster, all tuned with WD-40 carburetor cleaning stuff. So, yeah, and Victor says it does nothing to the rubber as well. So, good on you guys. I learned something tonight. So, yep, Todd Kelly, WD does not degrade rubber. It's been proven by 3 of our very valuable listeners in the chat room.
Right. Now we just need someone on Grinder to confirm it. Then we
None
really
of which are professional lubrication engineers.
Well, that's why the guys on Grinder will help you out.
So next question.
Okay, so from Slago ADV Superlight, on the same oil change video, for my 450L every 600 miles or sooner, HP4 every time, 32 plus thousand issue free miles, 92% of those miles off road. Oil is inexpensive. Blown motors are expensive.
So Sluggo ADV Superlight, your 450L is designed, I think, to go 100,000 kilometers. Like I think that's the Honda durability standard. It's up there pretty high. So you've got some mileage left, probably halfway through before I would even consider worrying about it. Was that also on the Instagram video for the oil thing?
Yeah.
92% of those. It's got it calculated out. That's right. Yeah, blown motors. You could put any decent oil in there. 1030, 1040. Isn't that how we started the show?
Yeah. So what was I forgot? Were you pro or anti Rotella, or were you kind of indifferent?
Mostly pro, but I was actually more pro a different brand. Based on some little bit of information I saw on some oil tests that somebody had done that I respected. So, but yeah, I mean, people were running a lot of the Rotellas and the Delvacs and Delos and the 1540 diesel oils.
Yeah.
I'm not an oil engineer. Chris, I think we talked about it with Chris on the show when we need to get Chris back in here. And then he'll say just put oil in it. Yeah. And just, like we were talking at the start of the show, it's the same thing. It's like if you're actually trying to get like an advantage based on the oil you're running, there's probably 10 other things you could do that be a little bit easier. But if it's just like like helmets or something like that, it's like do what you can afford and do it properly, and I think that's best. WD-40 was developed during Vietnam by U.S. Navy SEALs to clean their. I think he ran out of typing, but
They're
we. That was it. Hit the enter too soon. Yes, Bob, raising the hand.
So when the late Dave Chase.
Right, Dave Chase.
13 years ago Saturday.
Right.
When they were doing the original development on the KX250 for motocross and supercross.
Right, the KX250 4-stroke.
Right.
At Pro Circuit.
Yeah, what the one big thing they learned is it didn't really matter what kind or quality of oil they ran. It's how often they changed it.
The kind or quality of oil didn't matter, as how often they changed it.
Yeah, that was the big driver or the big discriminator.
Yeah, that sounds like pretty good advice. I have a lot of high mileage vehicles, and I'm change oil regularly. I don't want to say religiously. I don't want to say too often, because I feel bad when I do it too often. And here's the cheapskate in me. When I change oil too often and it comes out nice and clean, if Nate doesn't get a hold of it, my good buddy Nate doesn't get a hold of it, it turns into chainsaw bar oil. Yeah, because that's just dripping on the ground essentially. So, works out. So, Matt, is that it for our
That was it for the submitted questions.
submitted questions?
Submitted questions and commented questions. So, Chad, if you have any questions, now is the time. I had a question for you.
You did?
I did, but I didn't write it down.
It's Tuesday. Tuesday. If you were curious. Yeah.
It had something to do with
Something important?
Something important. It had something to do with like bike maintenance.
Right.
Because this is something I'm trying to get better at because I'm tired of the.
Carson Brown posted a video on Instagram of the DG YZ80. That was the one bike I wanted when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And I need to talk to him about that. I need a DG. Somebody gave me a cylinder head for one, and they said, "We know you're motivated. You'll build the bike underneath this thing." And I may have given it to Dwayne, his dad, and that's the
one that's on.
It might be underneath that, so I might need to get that head back, including the entire bike.
Right.
Just to have. So
does he tend to keep the bikes he fixes up, or does he flip them?
he flips them. Yeah, he tends to bikes tend to kind of spin around there, but I mean he has some pretty cool bikes. I gave him an XR75, but he also gave me a BBR TTR 125. So we've switched out bikes a few times.
Mm-hmm.
Bob's raising his hand again, and he forgot what he was going to say.
To use Ray's name in vain, tell the guy with the HPI ignition, SEM ignition, to drop kick it and get a Kukasan.
Get a Kukasan ignition instead of HPI ignition.
Or probably any Japanese ignition.
Yeah, I used to put, actually, believe it or not, back then in my 1990 era KTMs, we used to take out the SEM. No, we would put in SEM ignitions on them.
Oh, they never were very good in the Huskies.
Yeah, I think we were putting, I don't remember what we were taking out of them, but we were putting SEMs because on the 125s they had heavier flywheels, and I think they were a little more reliable. Maybe it was the Moto Plats. Yeah. I don't know. It was.
Those are the two big European ignitions.
Yeah. Do you think that fluidity is better than viscosity to cool an engine faster? Are we talking about oil? Fluidity.
Spell that, Matt, quick.
Fluid, Fluidity. Fluidity is better than viscosity. That's above my pay grade, man.
Viscosity is just how much of a liquid something is, if I remember correctly. And
well,
fluidity is just, I don't know if that's a real word, but
well,
I think he's trying to trip us up.
That sounds the same to me.
I'm pretty sure it's I'm pretty sure he's trying to trip us up.
Mm-hmm. No, it's an interesting question.
Yeah.
So in compression ignition engines, like piston engines,
right,
the viscosity is important because it keeps
the piston from hitting, from scuffing on the side of the wall.
The loads aren't symmetrical.
Right. So you have to remember, Bob, that this isn't us just hanging out in the shop because you need to sit behind a microphone and talk because nobody can really hear you. And so it sounds like me just, snoring.
Yeah.
When we're doing this.
I'm understanding the difference now, though.
Between fluidity and viscosity.
Yes, like viscosity is like the.
Matt's had a revelation over there. Hey, congratulations, Matt. We have received 100 messages today on this show. So whatever you're doing over there, you're killing it because you got 100 messages.
I need to spell Tuesday wrong more often.
And Curly Stoker says, my wife looked over and is very concerned to me. Fluidity. Oh, wait, no, the thing just jumped. As to your heat situation, and I quote, does he not have a little man cave heated or something? I actually turned on the heater in here, but I think I might have turned the air conditioning on.
It wasn't blowing out cold, warm air.
It wasn't? Yeah,
I don't understand how you're in flip-flops.
Because I'm trying to strengthen my foot.
He's desensitized.
with only 9 toes. I need to keep that foot.
Oh,
And they need to air out after my ride today.
right.
Yeah, they were locked in a boot, and even though it was cold out, that my feet are not very good. And George, that calls us all the time, fluidity, the ability of a substance to flow easily. Lead especially assists in the fluidity of the molten metal. Oh, he used it in a sentence. That's so third grade of you.
Fluidity is viscosity.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at.
Okay, yeah. So then now I'm back to where I was before.
It is a serious question. The thicker the oil, it flows slower, hence it will hold temperature longer.
Viscosity
It depends on what you're passing it through and how long it's going to pass through that thing, as into the way that it heats up and the way it cools down. So, boy,
The physics.
I just found the formula for viscosity.
oh, so now we're looking at formulas and stuff.
Well, it's not that bad. It's just basic algebra. I mean,
It's 852, and I'm about ready to have my head explode because
all you need to calculate
is fluidity equals the something of a funny shaped letter A with a U and a U over and a Y. What does U stand for?
So this U over Y. So that had
The magnitude of
shear.
force.
It was the sheer something.
Are we talking about
cross-sectional.
kilograms or milligrams, or what are we working in?
Well, we are working in scientific units, so it's probably going to be grams. Here we go. Rate of shear deformation is this ratio right here. This is your coefficient.
Put
of
that.
viscosity
Go.
of
You
fluid.
want to do something productive? Put that formula in the chat. And the good thing is that I know that it's impossible to put those things in the chat. That's why I have him doing it.
Well, you can't put mu in, but I'll put u in.
Yeah, go
u
ahead
in
and
for
make a
that.
fraction in the chat too.
Oh, that's easy. I'm just gonna put that in parentheses.
Oh,
so you have
boy.
that multiplied by. Oh, here's a problem. So
How many motorcycle and motorcycle product related people are concerned with your formula right now?
Many. So I'm gonna use capital A, capital U in place of mu, but then we have we'll multiply that by u over y, and there we go.
Yeah, you just got us at least 800 listeners.
Look at that.
So good.
Yeah.
Good. Now we know what fluidity is. It's up there on the chat room. Yes,
Yeah, 'cause
Bob,
I
you're
can't put a
raising
mu,
both of your
but-
hands now.
Higher viscosity oil requires more energy to move it.
Right.
Therefore, more heat is imparted to the higher viscosity oil because of the more energy required. to move
I don't agree with that take either. I think,
it. That's the physics.
that's the physics, but it's all a bunch of. It's just put the recommended oil in the recommended amount in your recommended motorcycle, and then we don't need to talk about this anymore.
Oh, actually, the unit for it
this
is
is a-
Pascal second.
This is a waste of time.
It's not
Matt,
fair.
you start Tech Talk Physics Tuesday or whatever the hell you want to call it.
Hey, I've been missing my physics classes lately. I
Yeah.
don't know why.
Yeah, well, don't show them how you work on carburetors. Bob
They've seen my calc.
answered it right. Victor says he can. Can you hear Bob? Yeah. How loud do you have this thing, and what does your wife think of that? That's the real important problem. So, well, everybody, I think we're gonna wrap this show up. It's about time.
The
It's gone.
viscosity
It's,
is.
the viscosity of this show has gone off the deep end at this point.
Hey, Victor's having a good time.
I'd really like to thank Ricky Brabec for literally sticking around a little bit extra.
It was really cool of him.
to do this. Yeah, he was tired, and he's got a big day tomorrow as well. Plus a lot of pre-Dakar rally stuff going on. So awesome of him to show up. Thanks you guys for joining in and providing us with entertainment, especially all the people in the chat room that don't post, because there's nothing better than someone that doesn't post that's crazy ass stupid questions that I don't have to answer. Thanks to Leon and Stefan and Ojo and Dane and Honda 450 for commenting on our videos that are on YouTube's and on the Instagrams and stuff. If there's something you want us to do more of, let us know. We can try to accommodate that. And if you want to sponsor this show, let us know. Maybe we can afford some spell check, right, Matt?
And snug fits.
And snug fits.
All
right?
right.
Okay. So we're, and remember, the heat isn't free around here, and that's why we're wearing jackets.